The final traces of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle from the British royal family are being erased, and this is far more significant than just the destruction of their former home.
A huge blow-up, a big fight around Harry's plans for summer return to the UK, including spending time at Balmoral, potentially, and reconnecting with the king.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are being erased from the history of Frogmore Cottage.
Remember the phrase freedom flight? These days, royal watchers are once again talking about Prince Harry's connection to the UK. Reports suggest significant changes could be coming to Frogmore Cottage, and many observers see the development as another notable chapter in the ongoing royal story. The property once associated with Harry and Meghan is reportedly being updated, with each reported change drawing fresh attention. Here's what has people talking.
And, of course, there was a lot of criticism about what Harry and Meghan, let's say, did. You know, they had to add a yoga room, a 5,000-pound copper tub, and all these sorts of things because Soho House, of course, was involved. I still am absolutely flummoxed by Meghan Markle's obsession with Soho House. I feel like I need to stay there one time and maybe, just maybe, I will understand, but I doubt it. It's just a place to lay your head, I guess, and hang out. And then obviously Harry and Meghan left the royal family.
According to reports, several renovations completed during Harry and Meghan's time at Frogmore, including utility upgrades, interior redesigns, and customized features, may be reversed as part of plans to restore the property closer to its previous layout. The cottage is reportedly expected to be divided back into multiple staff residences, similar to how it was used before. And that's where the discussion really picks up. Rather than simply remaining unused, the property is reportedly undergoing changes that would remove many features linked to its more recent history. For some royal commentators, that has become a significant talking point. To critics, it doesn't look like a routine property update. They argue it appears to mark the end of a particular chapter. With every reported alteration, some observers believe the property is gradually being reshaped to serve a different purpose than it did in recent years. Then there's another detail that continues to surface. During discussions about royal housing arrangements,
and initially, the house was actually subdivided into multiple sections because it was actually a residence for multiple staff members. So there was a process undertaken to redo the property, make it go from a multiple family residence to a single family residence. And of course, this was to the tune of millions of pounds. Some of those structural changes, these sorts of things, I'm sure were needed to upkeep a property.
Prince Andrew was reportedly offered Frogmore Cottage as a possible residence and chose not to relocate there. One source described the situation by saying, "The place has sat empty for 3 years, and even Andrew didn't think it was fit to move into." That leaves many people asking the same thing. Why has this property remained such a major topic of discussion? Why does Frogmore continue generating so much interest years after its former occupants left? For many observers, the debate surrounding the cottage reflects a much larger conversation about Prince Harry's relationship with royal life. And according to those closely following developments, that discussion remains as active as ever.
There's so much you could talk about with Frogmore. Obviously, it was the home that Queen Elizabeth II gave to Harry and Meghan for their wedding. Now, gave is a very, let's say, in some ways misleading. It was sort of lent to them officially, unofficially. So how it works in the British monarchy is that there's a series of properties that belong to what is known as the Crown Estate. And the monarch, whoever that happens to be, can give some of those residences to members of the royal family, royal staffers, as a, let's say, a thank you for their long period of service and these sorts of things. And of course, Frogmore Cottage fell under that umbrella.
Meanwhile, attention has also turned toward the Sussex's business projects. Some commentators suggest Harry's continued interest in maintaining connections with the UK may involve several factors beyond personal history alone. Others point to ongoing public attention surrounding business ventures and media projects. One topic receiving particular attention is Meghan's lifestyle brand, as ever. While supporters remain enthusiastic about its future, some commentators have questioned whether certain product launches have met expectations. Recent releases have sparked considerable online discussion, with many people watching closely to see how the brand develops. Some observers have also highlighted reports of products being offered in bundled packages. Critics view that as a possible sign of marketing challenges, while supporters argue it is a common retail strategy used by businesses across many industries. Either way, it has become another widely discussed part of the ongoing conversation. Adding even more intrigue to the discussion, some commentators have speculated about how previous media earnings may have been allocated toward future business ventures and product development.
Yes, oh yes. Guys, believe it or not, it took me forever to click this thing to get this to work earlier. But we have matches. And to be fair, Meghan Markle is following something I had previously suggested, which is that, in order to sell stubborn inventory that's not selling, sometimes it's a fairly good idea to offer something free with it. And I believe that's what's happening here. I'm pretty sure the matches are free with the candles. And that's not a bad idea. I'm not criticizing it. But what's interesting to consider as well is I think this reflects how poorly the brand overall is doing.
These claims remain unverified, but they continue circulating online as people try to piece together the financial picture surrounding the Sussex brand. Whatever the reality may be, one thing is undeniable. Conversations about Harry, Meghan, Frogmore Cottage, and their future continue to generate strong interest and show little sign of fading anytime soon. Now consider the situation that many royal commentators have been describing in Montecito: a large estate to manage, substantial security expenses, ongoing business projects under constant public attention, and long-term financial questions that continue to fuel online debate. Looking at the situation this way, some observers believe Harry's reported interest in strengthening family connections may involve a range of factors rather than emotions alone. That's where the speculation becomes even more interesting. For years, proximity to the monarchy brought enormous visibility and influence. Some critics argue that stepping away from royal duties also meant stepping away from certain advantages that came with that position.
Because Meghan Markle thinks that signature candles based on herself, her marriage, and her children are going to sell to the broader public. And she thinks now if the matches are offered individually, she thinks, let's say, offering those matches individually is going to get people to buy some as well, though I'm sure she's going to stock much fewer of those and much, much more in this signature scent collection to get this collection to move. And this is just such a bare bones basic idea. She is treating this matches, something you can get for cents, like 50 cents, 25 cents. She's offering matches as sort of a huge look at me style item. Now, if I refresh this page, is this still here?
Whether that view is fair or not, it remains a frequent topic in discussions about the couple's future. Many people also remember the phrase freedom flight, which became linked to Harry and Meghan's departure from the UK. At the time, it represented a new beginning and greater independence. Today, critics sometimes reference those words while arguing that circumstances have changed significantly. According to their view, the phrase now carries a different meaning than it once did. One issue that continues generating strong opinions is security. Harry has consistently argued that safety concerns affect his ability to travel to the UK comfortably. Critics, meanwhile, maintain that security arrangements should reflect his current status outside official royal duties. The debate remains active, and opinions continue to differ sharply. For critics, the argument is relatively simple. They believe that leaving official royal duties means accepting the responsibilities and costs associated with that decision. Supporters, however, argue that security concerns should be considered separately from family disagreements or public debate. It's an issue that continues dividing opinion. What makes the topic so significant is that security is often viewed as a key factor influencing everything else. Easier travel, extended visits, and more opportunities for family interaction could become possible if those concerns were resolved.
Sort of view on why people are so fascinated in the sort of fall of the House of Sussex is it doesn't reflect particularly well on the human heart, but there's a great concept in Greek tragedy and Greek drama called the chastisement of hubris, the chastisement of arrogance, the chastisement of and I think that's why people remain fascinated by this story. Why, on one hand, they're like, oh, I hate her, I never want to see the sight of her again, I can't bear it. But the other side, we can't help reading about the latest disaster to befall them with the sight. And it's because of what they did to the royal family. Is because of the way they left, saying that they were going to redefine service, that this was going to be a whole new world, and we were just going to get to playing.
That's why nearly every development connected to the issue attracts considerable attention. At the same time, reports and rumors about tensions behind the scenes have continued to circulate. According to various claims discussed by commentators, Harry was interested in spending more time in the UK and Europe, including possible visits during the summer months. Some reports suggested he hoped to strengthen family ties and create more opportunities for personal connection during a period many observers viewed as particularly important for the royal family. Then another round of reports emerged and quickly captured attention. According to various claims, Prince William and Princess Catherine were said to prefer avoiding potential family drama and focusing on their own priorities during the summer months. These reports remain unverified, but they fueled even more discussion about the current state of family relationships. From there, the story became even more complicated. Commentators suggested that disagreements about future plans may have created additional tension. As with many stories involving the royal family, separating confirmed facts from speculation can be challenging. Even so, the report spread rapidly and became another major topic among royal watchers.
According to reports, Meghan was furious after hearing claims that she and the children would not be welcomed by William and Catherine, leading to what began as a disagreement into what insiders describe as a showdown. Okay, now these claims come from an unnamed source and have not been independently verified, but let me just say something. It makes sense. It makes sense. And also, the story that I did around Meghan and trying to connect with her arch nemesis to find favor with Queen Camilla makes a lot of sense, because she's not going to want to go if she can't have an ally, if she can't build some kind of connection to someone in the UK.
According to those same reports, one alleged conversation became a major focus of discussion, a conversation that, if accurately described, could raise important questions about future plans and personal priorities. According to claims circulating online, Meghan reportedly took a firm position when the topic of Britain came up. The reported message was straightforward. If you want to go to Britain, go ahead, but I'm not going. Whether that conversation happened exactly as described remains unknown, but the claim attracted attention because it presented a picture of two very different perspectives. On one side is the life Harry has built in California. On the other is the country, family connections, and personal history that shaped much of his life. For many observers, that contrast helps explain why stories about his future continue attracting interest year after year. Reports also claim that Meghan later traveled to Switzerland while Harry remained in California. Some commentators viewed that as a completely ordinary situation. Others believed it reflected broader differences in priorities. Their argument was that the discussion wasn't really about one trip, it was about different long-term visions for the future. According to that interpretation, Harry still feels a strong connection to Britain and the relationships he left behind. Meghan, meanwhile, is often portrayed by commentators as concentrating on building a future elsewhere.
For years, Prince Harry insisted he wanted one thing above all else: family. Okay? Not the institution, and not the titles, not the palace. Family is what he wanted. And according to a new bombshell report, that desire may have triggered one of the biggest fights yet between Harry and Meghan. And behind the carefully curated anniversary photos, don't we look nice? Because I'm painting the pictures.
Critics argue that when two people focus on different goals, the conversation naturally becomes more complex than any single disagreement. Then came Meghan's appearance in Geneva, an event that generated considerable media attention. Supporters viewed it as another opportunity for her to engage with international organizations and global issues. Critics, however, focused on different aspects of the event, including attendance and overall public impact. One journalist who reportedly attended offered a particularly pointed observation. According to accounts that circulated afterward, attendance appeared lower than some observers had anticipated. One description that gained significant attention claimed there were barely enough people to fill a British phone box. Whether fair or unfair, that remark quickly spread online and became one of the most frequently repeated comments connected to the event. But the discussion about attendance wasn't the only issue.
Now, the trouble reportedly started when Harry began planning what he had hoped would be a meaningful summer in Europe. And does it not make sense? He wants not a vacation, he wants a reunion, a chance for Archie and Lily to spend time with their grandfather, King Charles, a chance to reconnect with his roots, a chance to remind his children where they come from. But then came the information that allegedly changed everything. According to a report, Meghan learned that William and Catherine supposedly wanted nothing to do with the Sussexes and did not want family tensions disrupting their time in Britain.
A photograph from the trip sparked another round of commentary after Meghan was seen posing with a foreign official who had previously been the subject of public controversy. Critics questioned whether more thorough vetting should have taken place before the photo opportunity occurred. For some royal commentators, the situation highlighted a broader challenge. They argue that life outside the royal system comes with fewer layers of review and fewer advisors examining every detail. In their view, that's one reason public appearances can sometimes produce unexpected headlines. Those same critics point out that major royal engagements are often prepared months in advance, with teams overseeing logistics, scheduling, security, communications, and public relations. Outside that framework, they argue, every decision carries additional risk, and a single overlooked detail can quickly dominate the conversation. Meanwhile, media coverage of the Geneva appearance sparked another debate. Several outlets published very similar descriptions, including versions of the phrase, "Meghan delivers powerful speech." Critics argued that some reports appeared overly reliant on promotional language.
What the heck is the World Health Organization doing fixating with Meghan Markle on social media and this project she had in Geneva, when the reality is we've got a new Ebola outbreak that's actually quite frightening. It's one of those common sense headlines that when I read it, I thought, how did we not talk about this a week ago?
While supporters maintained that the speech deserved positive attention regardless of audience size. So as discussion continues around public appearances, business projects, and family relationships, many observers are left wondering whether the door to Britain is truly closed or whether another unexpected development could still be ahead. But there's another theory gaining traction among some commentators right now. According to this perspective, Prince Harry may not be as disconnected from the royal family as many people believe. Supporters of this view argue there are signs that relationships behind the scenes could be improving, and that the possibility of future reconciliation may not be as unlikely as it once seemed. They point to a series of moments they consider difficult to ignore. For example, Harry has spoken publicly about certain issues, including anti-Semitism, and some observers noticed similarities between those remarks and themes later emphasized by King Charles.
Well, I think that, look, it's a pretty dry and dusty town, Geneva. Do you know what I mean? There's not a lot of stardust and there's not a lot of glamour. So I think in one sense, they'll take what they can get. And this is what they could get to sort of, and what's quite interesting about it is that they're trying to also, it was the beginning of a thing called World Health Awareness Week or something, where all the health ministers fly into Geneva basically for massive freebie, as far as I could tell, to talk about stuff.
Others have highlighted occasions when Harry made public comments shortly before major royal engagements involving his father. To some commentators, those timing overlaps appear noteworthy. Officially, however, there has been no confirmation that any coordination exists. Publicly, such similarities are generally described as coincidence. Even so, supporters of the reconciliation theory argue that the pattern appears often enough to keep speculation alive. Whether that interpretation is correct or not, it remains a topic that continues attracting attention. Some commentators have even suggested that communication between father and son could be stronger than many people realize. Their theory is that certain public statements might serve as subtle signals, allowing both sides to gauge reactions before taking larger steps. There is no public evidence supporting that idea, but it remains a popular subject of discussion among royal watchers and continues to generate considerable interest.
Finnish health minister, I mean, this shows you the kind of Z-listness of the whole thing, that we had this kind of Finnish health minister who turned out to be a sort of vile misogynist and literally accused of sex crimes
And racism.
Posing for a selfie, Meghan allowing him to take a selfie with her. So, you know, but the whole thing is, Kinsey, right? It's like organizing a foreign tour for a member of the royal family is really, really difficult. It needs absolutely massive organization. You need massive levels of vetting, and you need like real local power, because you need to be able to say, well, who is coming to this?
Adding even more attention to the discussion is King Charles's widely reported interest in family unity. Over the years, many observers have described Charles as someone who values reconciliation and maintaining family ties. Harry's memoir, Spare, also fueled conversations about the complex relationship between father and son. Because of that, some commentators believe Charles would welcome an opportunity to strengthen those connections if the circumstances were right. But this is where many observers see the biggest challenge: Prince William. According to various reports and royal commentators, William's position is often viewed differently. While the details of private family relationships remain unknown, many analysts believe the divide between the brothers continues to be significant. In fact, several royal commentators argue that William's influence over the monarchy's future is becoming increasingly important. As heir to the throne, his perspective naturally carries considerable weight. That's one reason so much attention is given to reports suggesting he remains cautious about major reconciliation efforts involving Harry. For those who support the idea of improved family relations, this creates a difficult situation.
That's where we are right now with Harry and Meghan and their relationship. Now, whether or not Harry's going to suppress his feelings and know it's just gone for the rest of his life, that he has to be in California with these children forever or until they turn 18, then that's one story. But will that be Harry's forever story? Will he never, ever want to go against Meghan again? I don't know. It just depends on how strong his desire is to see things right.
Even if some relatives favor rebuilding connections, many observers believe any lasting solution would require broader support within the family itself. According to those commentators, that outcome remains uncertain. Meanwhile, public opinion continues to play a major role. Polls, media coverage, and online discussions reveal strong feelings from many different viewpoints. Some people support reconciliation, while others believe the current arrangement should remain unchanged. What makes the debate so compelling is that there appears to be no clear agreement. So while reports of a possible royal reunion continue appearing from time to time, the central question remains the same. Even if opportunities exist, are all the key people interested in taking them? The answer could shape the direction of this story for years ahead. According to many commentators, the more discussion there is about Harry potentially returning to a more prominent royal role, the stronger public reactions become. Some royal supporters have openly stated that they would oppose such a move, highlighting just how divided opinions remain on the issue. And for critics, the debate extends far beyond Frogmore Cottage. They argue that the property represents only one part of a much larger conversation about Harry and Meghan's place within the broader royal narrative. Online discussions frequently focus on questions involving titles, responsibilities, public roles, and the Sussexes' long-term relationship with the monarchy.
Frog no more. The Sun does a really great job of their headlines. Like it's masterclass. The Brits do just a fantastic job. Page 6 in the United States does fairly well. It says final traces of Harry and Meghan to be wiped from Frogmore Cottage as £2.4 million revamp is reversed 3 years after eviction. So I honestly will say as well, it doesn't look all that great for the royal family.
Whether those views represent the majority or not, they demonstrate how emotional and deeply debated the issue has become. Years after the departure that became known as the Freedom Flight, people are still discussing what it meant, how much it changed, and whether any meaningful path back remains possible. So while Harry may continue looking for ways to strengthen connections with Britain and his family, debate about his future remains as intense as ever. One thing is clear, this story is far from finished, and every new development keeps people talking. Got something to say about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get into it. If this breakdown made you see things differently, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Tap that like button and share this with someone who needs to hear it.